What's up, guys? Welcome to Box Football. And to be fair, like we haven't really done this series in a while, and I don't know what like we call it, the best of series, best player position series. But so basically, we rank all the best players in every position all time, and we did it for the goalkeeper, left back, and right back. And the one that we're gonna do to look at today is the center back position, the good old center back, number six, as they say. Um, yeah, what you look? I know that you have a favorite person for this position.
I've got a couple. So in my kind of best players of all time list, I think I've got about there's at least two centre backs in the top 6 or 7 that I've got. Maybe top 7 or 8 players of all time. 2 of them are centre backs. I am kind of a defender by trade. At a push, I'm kind of a kind of an all-action midfielder as a player, but I'm more of a defender by trade. So I'm always respectful of players who defend well, but kind of do it all as well. So maybe that'll give you a little hint into who some of my all-time great centre backs are going to be.
So I gotta ask Jack a trivia question, and if he gets it right, then he gets the first pick. If I get it right, then I get the first pick, and we're doing it in a draft. We're doing it in the draft format. You ready for the question, Jack?
Yeah, hit me. I can't wait to get it wrong.
Who finished third in the 2008 Ballon d'Or? Who got the bronze?
2008 Ballon d'Or.
Yeah. Who got the bronze medal, Jack?
See, I'm feeling like because you're asking me, it might be Henry, but I'm not gonna stick to that just yet. I'm just floating it out there.
Well, by the sounds of it seems like you have no clue.
I don't, so I'm just gonna say Henry. I have no idea.
Nowhere near Henry. Henry was past his best in 2007. Jack, you should know this. It was Fernando Torres.
Fernando Torres. Jesus, yeah, there was no way I was getting that. Who even won it that year?
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Ronaldo, is that Ronaldo's first one?
Yeah, that was his first one.
Yeah, first one. Oh yeah, before he won to Madrid. Yeah. Man, yeah. See, I'm no good. I'm no good with these trivia questions. My history is not as good as yours.
Yeah, got to get better with this. But my number one pick. This was a tough one because I changed it like 3 times, but then I stuck with this guy because I realized the way he changed the game in modern day. I think he would fit into he would fit into modern day football so well. He could play for so many teams, and that's Franz Beckenbauer.
Yes,
you know, the Rolls Royce of all Rolls Royces when you talk about defending. He is known as the Libra. He started off as a defensive midfielder and dropped into center back, and his ability to bring the ball out from the back. He literally let me describe to you what a Franz Beckenbauer would be. If you're on a 5-a-side pitch, Franz Beckenbauer would be that guy in defense, and his ability to receive the ball from the goalkeeper. Actually, go against someone one-on-one, win the ball off him, beat another guy, play 1-2, and score. He could do it all. He was a boss when it came to be a defender, just overall a footballer, and as a defender to dominate the game from the center back position. He's the greatest of all time. World Cup winner, played for Germany. He won the World Cup as a manager too. One of the selected few to do that. With Bayern Munich, won numerous Bundesliga titles, Champions League. At his best, he dominated the world. And when you think about the name Franz Beckenbauer, you know it's a sexy name when you put out there, and he was a sexy player on a football pitch.
Yeah, man, I totally agree with you. This is my number one. It's a little coin toss with who I'm going to pick, but really there's only one true winner. There's nothing more I can say about this guy. He dominated everything he touched in football. Manager, player, now in the executive sense as well in Bayern Munich. Only defender in history to win the Ballon d'Or twice, 3 European Cups in a row, 5 Bundesliga titles across 2 teams. He also won one, I believe, for Hamburg as well, World Cup winner, Euro 72 winner. The guy won absolutely everything. And you're absolutely right, James. He was about 5'11", 6 foot. So this wasn't a 6'4", 6'5" hulking, winning aerial balls and clearances and, just defending in that kind of way. He could do everything. He had that kind of body shape and that style. He was elegant. had it all. And yeah, he could play in the modern game. A lot of old school defenders could not play in the modern game. Stick Franz Beckenbauer in any possession-based team right now, and is the best centre-back in the world. So yeah, not disagreeing with you at all on that pick. I'm glad he's credited as a defender and not a holding midfielder as well. I love that. My pick, Paolo Maldini. Now, you and I have talked about this a bunch of times. Some people think he's a fullback. Some people think he's a centre-back. As far as I'm concerned, the centre-back position is a harder position to play and be good at than a fullback position. It's why a lot of fullbacks are either wingers that weren't good enough in an attacking sense and become fullbacks, or centre-backs who weren't good enough in that defensive sense and become fullbacks. So Paolo Maldini, in terms of a pure centre-back, to me, this is the best of the bunch, what he's capable of doing. In my opinion, 7 Serie A titles, 5-time European champion across the Champions League and the European Cup, 3rd place in the Ballon d'Or. This is the most incredible stat for me that just proves how great Maldini was. Maldini didn't win the Ballon d'Or, but he came 3rd twice. One was in, I believe it was 94 or 93. One was in 94. He then came 3rd again in the Ballon d'Or in 2003, 9 years later. 9 years later. The only people to really kind of grace that in terms of a top 3 level over like a 10-year period in their footballing careers are Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. I think that kind of really says it all about Maldini's talent. He tested himself with some of the greatest all-time players as well in those 2000s and the late 90s as well. Yeah, Paolo Maldini for me, easily in at 2nd, but I think Beckenbauer probably is the best. Who's your number 2?
I just want to give a bit on Paolo Maldini. I remember he scored the first goal in the Champions League final in 2005, and I was thinking, oh, but Maldini, how old was he around there? He was 35 years of age, still bossing games. And then a few years later, Man United had AC Milan in the semi-finals of the Champions League, and around that time they had a young Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney was speaking about playing against Paolo Maldini, a 37-year-old at that time. He said, "Look at me, I'm a young stud. I just got to knock the ball past him, and that's all she wrote really." He said he could not get a kick throughout the whole game, and his ability to read Wayne Rooney, read the play that they had on the pitch, Ronaldo, all them guys. At the age of 37, you know the quality of the guy. Absolute amazing defender as a centre back, as a full back. Top quality. But let's move on to my number 2 pick. My number 2 pick is going to be Franco Baresi. Now, if you're talking about defenders, not like Franz Beckenbauer type who can bring it out back, or just a normal number 6, no nonsense defender, he is the number 1 guy. You know, I'm not gonna come here and say that I watched Franco Baresi throughout throughout the years, because he was retired by the time I was alive.
Right.
You know, but I don't really hear this a lot. When you hear the defenders having their names, having the numbers retired, that tells you all you need to know about this defender.
Yeah.
Played in 4 World Cups. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to win one, but won 6 Serie A titles, won 3 European titles. Just an absolute stalwart in this AC Milan team. And at that time, where Serie A was was the best defensive, was not only the best league in the world, but the best defensive league. He was the best defender. He was absolutely brilliant. And yeah, Franco Baresi as my number 2.
I can't deny that he's a great player. I'll be honest, he doesn't make my kind of little short list of 6 here that I did have. So I don't know. I must be missing something there. Maybe it's a different style for me. Maybe.
He has my shirt number retired, Jack. How many players can say that?
I know. Maybe I've missed him. For me, my 2nd pick, Fabio Cannavaro. 2006 World Cup winner, individually won the Ballon d'Or that year as well. I think if we're being totally honest, if you are the captain and a very, very good player in a World Cup winning team, that says a lot. Also, I think it helps if you play for Real Madrid, if you play for he started his career at Napoli, Juventus, Real Madrid, Inter. You know, the guy's been absolutely everywhere, and you know, was kind of the real centerpiece, I think, of that 2006 team that won. If we're being honest, we know about that game, and I think we know who really probably should have won. Who probably should have won that game in the end. But Italy are the ones who did. Cannavaro was a linchpin in that team. He won La Liga titles, Serie A titles, and all-round fantastic defender, and also a great professional for the sport.
I remember watching the 2006 World Cup, and I felt that you could literally just left him on the back on his own, and he could have just won the game. Like there was like there was a moment where there was a counter-attack, and like it was a 1v1 against him, and it was just him. Not only did he win the ball with ease, but his ability to win the ball back and then carry it and bring it forward with Italy against Germany. Just watching the guy was just absolutely brilliant. As a defender to win the Ballon d'Or, that tells you a lot. That performance was one of the greatest performances you're ever going to see as a defender. He was absolutely brilliant. And for someone, what size was he? 5'4"?
I've got 5'9". So he wasn't, he wasn't a particularly big guy. Yeah.
He wasn't the biggest defender in the world, but it just shows you don't always have to be a big, strong defender to like be a top defender. He read the game really well, was nice and nippy and intelligent. He went on to have absolutely amazing career.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do stand by that pick. I am looking at some of the names now. For me, 3 through 6 on my little short list going against you here, James, they're kind of really interchangeable. But I just thought Cannavaro, with some of those big game moments for him, just deserved the spot.
And plus, when you have a World Cup on the list, it just tells you, like the World Cup just puts you above a lot. So my number 3. Now this was a tough one because I feel harsh right now, and I feel like everyone's gonna watch this thing, and especially the oldies gonna look at me saying, "Look at you, modern day guy. You only think about the ones today." I just gave Franco Baresi and Beckenbauer. Come on, guys. Let me have one of mine right now. My number 3, and yes, he's had a lot of red cards in his career. I don't know. I think a record amount, but I think he as a defender, he's absolutely brilliant, and as a leader, modern day, he to me is the best we've seen modern day, and that's Sergio Ramos. Now, defenders I judge on their defending, and Ramos is an amazing defender, but I also judge Ramos on his clutch moments. He is the most clutch defender you will ever see. For every big moment that Real Madrid needed, Ramos was involved in. We will always remember the final in the Champions League 2014, going for the La Decima, last kick of the game. Mm-hmm. The man who rises above everyone. It's not Ronaldo, it's Sergio Ramos. He did that in the Super Cup final. He did that against Barcelona. So many big moments as a defender. He always steps up, and having 100 goals as a defender is absolutely brilliant. Ramos didn't actually start off his career as a defender. He was as a centre back. He was a fullback, and he was getting ripped by Ronaldinho and like Thierry Henry and Lionel Messi. His transition to centre back in the last 10 years, it's just shown you that it just showed you your ability. He shows his ability to change the game, but also his ability to adapt and like not only to adapt, but to become a leader. Because in that time, he was involved with Casillas, who wasn't the captain. But when Casillas left, who was going to be the guy to take over the mantle? He not only did that for Real Madrid, but also did that for Spain. I know he's a controversial pick for me, but he will go down as one of the greatest defenders of all time, a top 5 to top 10 Real Madrid player of all time.
Yes.
Sergio Ramos.
Yeah, no, any criticism in the comments, I'm coming to James's defense here. This was my next guy kind of on my list. This was my number 4 on my short list, just behind Cannavaro. Clutch is the right word. And guys, we have to remember that we make football a much more complicated game a lot of the time than it needs to be. You stop balls from going in your net and you put balls in the other net. Now, obviously you expect more from certain positions, but if Sergio Ramos is going to give you 10 to 15 goals a season from centre-back, if he's also going to drag your team up and kind of tell you what to do, I think hands down, I honestly don't really at this point think it's particularly close. This is the best defender of this generation, hands down. hands down. I've got a lot of love for the likes of, Carlos Puyol and, Nemanja Vidic and obviously I'm going to be biased to the Premier League because it's what I've been exposed to. But I think this guy has just been absolutely phenomenal. Free kicks, bicycle kicks, you name it. The way he's led the team with Cristiano Ronaldo going, and I know the criticism, he played in a great team. But I think every player who plays for a Barcelona or a Real Madrid is not immediately impeded because they play with great players. You are in a team of that quality because you deserve to be there, and Sergio Ramos does deserve that. So James, it's the second one of mine that you've now taken in my list. However, my third and final pick, and I don't hate having this list on my little column, is Marcel Desailly. I think if we actually look at the list of players, or at least my list of players, you've got Beckenbauer here, Maldini, Cannavaro, shout out to obviously Ramos and Ronald Koeman. There was nobody as physically imposing and physically dominant as Marcel Desailly in his day and at his time. I think the standout for him is when he was playing for France. Obviously, in England, we'll remember him at Chelsea, remember him at Milan as well when he was playing at Italy. But in terms of, I think, just one-on-one defending in every facet of defending, whether it's aerial duels, one-on-one trying to go past somebody, blocking, clearances, anything of that nature, I don't know if there was a more physically dominant centre-back than Marcel Desailly. I mean, if we just, list off some of his accomplishments here. Champions League winner with Marseille, Champions League winner with Milan, two-time Serie A winner as well, plenty of individual awards, teams of the decade, players of the tournament, FIFA 11s, World Cup All-Star teams, FIFA 100 in 2004, AC Milan Hall of Fame. The guy was an absolute monster, and I think that sometimes your achievements may not match up with the level. This is still a guy who won 2 Champions Leagues with two different teams. So credit where credit's due to Marcel Desailly.
Again, when you're called a rock, that's what lets you know how much you're rated. Again, he was rated in France, absolutely brilliant for AC Milan. Came over to Chelsea. He didn't have the greatest of time, but obviously showed his quality. But you think about what he was able to do with that amazing French team. So just to mention, because I completely missed out the international ones here. World Cup winner in '98, and obviously won the subsequent European Championship in 2000. Sorry, James, go ahead. Yeah, and to be fair, I think that French team only conceded 2 to 3 goals in that World Cup, and he was a massive part of that. Yes, he got sent off in the final, but that's a decent pick. But I thought you were going to pick someone else, Jack. I thought you were going to go for Bobby Moore.
So I guess this is where we get to kind of the people who maybe should be on the list, or at least should be consideration.
Yeah, honorable mention now. Yeah, let's get into the honorable mention, because this is such a tough one, because so many amazing defenders that we can name off.
Literally anybody Italian. So
this is the Italian position. Big one I want to mention is Nesta.
Alessandro Nesta. Yep.
Yeah, Nesta is a big one. Who else do you got there, Jack?
I've got Ronald Koeman. I think that there's that Dutch total football aspect from the centre-back position under the kind of tutelage of Cruyff and the Barcelona connection there as well. He was a very special player, obviously struggling a little bit as a manager at the moment, but as a player, he can't take anything away from him. I got
Carlos Puyol also, and like one of the best captains we have. I got Real Madrid legend Fernando Herrero. He was great. Yeah. He was amazing. Who else did we got there? We got Alan Hansen from Liverpool. Absolutely top.
I mean, if you are going to mention the English, you do have to go down the route of John Terry and those kind of guys. Rio Ferdinand,
Vidic, Laurent Blanc, Jaap Stam.
Yeah, Jaap Stam. I mean, there's a lot of terrific centre-backs over the years. And I think what's been difficult over the past, decade-ish has been that a lot of these kind of guys who really made their money defending aren't really there anymore. And a lot of the top elite defenders now, they're better passers of the football than they are defenders of the football. I don't know. I mean, if Virgil van Dijk can keep winning stuff with Liverpool and maybe get a big move somewhere and keep winning stuff and you know, maybe do something with Holland, maybe he'll be in this conversation at some point. But unfortunately, the number one go-to for defenders in the modern game is passing the ball at the top level. We don't really have that great of defenders anymore.
And another one I want to mention that he might not get all the credit, but Chiellini for Juventus has been an absolute mainstay of this team.
Yes.
And, you know, just what he's meant to do for Italy, a big one modern day. But guys, we've named our top 6. Franz Beckenbauer was number 1. Number 2 was Maldini. Number 3 was Franco Baresi. Number 4 was
Cannavaro.
Number 5 was Sergio Ramos. And number 6 was Marcel Desailly. And then obviously, honorable mentions, we've already spoken about them. Defenders that didn't make the top 6, apologies, guys. Let us know your top 6. Who do you have as the greatest defenders of all time? If you disagree with us, let us know. Box to box football.
I think one thing to say too, I don't know if we've made this clear before. Hopefully at the end, once we've done our central midfielders and our wingers and our strikers, James and I are going to have a little back and forth, maybe over a, I don't know, half-hour video. All-time 11. And we'll come to some sort of agreement.
Maybe if it gets enough clicks, guys, we'll definitely do that. But the next one probably going to move on to is midfielder. So watch out for that video. Thank you for watching. This is Box to Box Football, and we will see you next.